You're watching Rurouni K95's anime review on One Pound Gospel. Hi, Ruronis. This is your pal Rurouni K95 here. Today's anime review, we get to cover a new anime we get to review which is on another anime OVA from the 80s that is based on the manga, the same name by Rumiko Takahashi. For today's anime review is One Pound Gospel. One Pound Gospel is a manga series written and illustrated by Rumiko Takahashi, who is known for her work such as Urusei Yatsura, Ranma Half, Maison Ikkoku, and Inuyasha, and many of her works that she is known for. Beginning in Weekly Young Sunday, issue 9 of 1987, it was published sporadically until finishing issue 3 out of 4 on of 3/4 of 2007, with the chapters collected into 4 tankobon volumes. Yep. This story is a fusion of the sports, specifically boxing. I mean, when you think of boxing, particularly in this anime, and there's romantic comedy genres, particularly all in one. If the basically, because creator Rumiko Takahashi is particularly known for her works that about many manga authors and writers have dreamed of what they were doing, creative work that'll stand the test of time. She has done this 3 times, 2 or less, for every manga writers or authors' satisfactory results. Studio Gallop produced an anime original OVA, which is original video animation adaptation, in 1988, a live-action television drama starring Kazuya Kaminashi from Katun and Mesa Kuroki, aired for 9 episodes in 2008. We'll get to that in title in good time. Viz Media licensed and released the manga and the OVA in North America. Yeah, we'll get to the home video release for One Pound Gospel at one point. So the story takes. So let's review this anime. Let's begin. The protagonist of the series is Kosaku Hatanaka, who is basically the pride of Mokuta Gym. For the most part, he went pro only 2 bouts after leaving high school, and his strong punches are universally recognized by his opponents. While he is a natural at boxing, he can't control his voracious appetite whenever he's hungry. Not surprisingly, Kosaku eats anything and everything, particularly. By this time, as a result, he has been forced to change his weight class since high school, going from flyweight all the way up to a featherweight, something his trainer tells him he doesn't have the frame for. On top of this, he accepts the challenges from higher weight classes, giving his coach and himself constant trouble as well, particularly. Yep. Into this picture steps Sister Angela, a novice nun who takes Osaku out on as a personal project, determined to set him on the right path and break his habit of gluttony. She constantly encourages him, making sure that he stays in shape while staying away from food, because she wants him to keep his mind off of food, particularly. For example, burgers, pizza, pasta, hot dogs, and ramen, depending on what Kosaku has his habit whenever he has on food, particularly something going on of what we see in the anime OVA One Pound Gospel. But unfortunately, closeness can sometimes breed feelings of affection, which Kosaku begins to develop even worse. Sister Angela realizes she is beginning to have the same problems as well. So that's how. For the thing about One Pound Gospel, particularly, yeah, because I noticed that the anime OVA was directed by Osamu Dezaki, who was known for Treasure Island anime, Nobody's Boy Remy, as well as Lupin the Third, Bye Bye Lady Liberty Special, and many of anime that he has worked on. Oh, and he's also known for the anime Space Adventure Cobra, because this anime series No, I mean the OVA actually. It's not a series actually, but it's actually an OVA because OVA is basically a direct-to-video anime as well, which you guessed it. Sorry about that. One Pound Gospel is an anime about gluttony and why learning from mistakes is something important. The story begins with a guy named Kosaku, which is a regular boxer. He is a really great boxer with a KO punch that could end the match in one round. His only problem is that he thinks about food too much. Whenever he's running, practicing in the gym, or just resting, all he just is resting is one thing, is food. Even his trainer gets too irritated that he wants to fire him on the spot or just plain quit as his trainer. Kosaku gets a preaching from his coach every now and then, but the guy just let those words flow through one ear and out the other. One day, he saw a nun by the church while doing his daily run, then started to talk to her to get to know her. When they went inside her place at the monastery, he saw food. He ate as much as he can, not knowing that his next fight is about to happen sooner than he thought. By the time the fight came, it was total failure. While obviously the remaining matches that were shown in this OVA was up to his decision to quit and sacrifice eating too much with the help of the nun and his trainer. If you ever seen particularly the OVA, if you ever watched it, aired in the late 80s. The art style is good, knowing that it's an old anime from the 80s. It's grainy and all, but that's what any typical old anime would deliver, anyways. The story takes place most likely in Japan, with the neon lights and the side stories and all, along with the church area. The art is simple and reminds me of Inuyasha, Ramahalf, or Meizanikoku, or Urusei Yatsura, or any anime which is made by the same creator, Rumiko Takahashi, that made this OVA, because it was adapted from the original manga. There's nothing really special with the place this anime took place. Even the boxing ring, it's there, and that's all you have to know. I mean, the sound is particularly has what you expected as it was used to be. The voice actors did a fair job, but it just doesn't add up to be a great anime with great sound effects. As I recall, the ending music was quite more of a popular American song that you would expect if you as attended as you would expect a lot, or was it the opening? Either way, which is one way or the other. I just didn't think that the music fits. I mean, if you ever hear the sounds or music, or is particularly in this anime involved on this one much, if you expect other animes, which you get the picture as well. I mean, on top of that, the characters are also straightforward concerning their personalities. There are expect if there's any characters that are really that ominous, except maybe for that one Kosaku accidentally punched in the alleyway, which you would know the identity if you ever watched it or are going to watch this anime either way, particularly. The trainer had the personality of the typical one, all aggravated, mad at all the time. The nun was the usual nun, except for the fact that she drinks alcohol. Kosaku is just strange on the other hand. For a pro boxer, why would he not worry at being top of his shape before eating for each match? What might as well become some world record hot dog eater or something. Maybe surpass that dude that wins kinds of contests like crazy, if you would expect for the results. For the fun level of watching this anime, I mean, it's pretty good. It's like if you ever watched boxing anime like either Ashita no Joe or Hajime no Ippo, why not? Because the kind of feeling of when I've watched One Pound Gospel, particularly how you expect for boxing anime at the time, and accidentally stumbled upon on this page, seeing a guy holding his boxing gloves, because I was really pumped when you ever see the anime OVA, which is One Pound Gospel. But unfortunately, I would expect if you ever either watch the anime OVA or if you ever read the original manga, I would say the OVA you can give it a watch if you ever seen this OVA. I mean, One Pound Gospel is your typical anime that has never gotten a DVD release on there because it's only released on VHS back in the 90s, especially. But you guessed it. One Pound Gospel was adapted into a single 50-minute anime original video animation, which is shortened as OVA, by Studio Gallop, which the company Studio Gallop was basically known for the work on anime, which is known for half of the Rurouni Kenshin anime series, as many as other kind of animes, which Studio Gallop is known for their work on. Most significantly, which is Initial D First Stage, as well as Transformers, Car Robots, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, and many other animes that is made by Studio Gallop as well. And yet this anime series was directed by, no, not a series, but it's actually an OVA. And yet it was the One Pound Gospel anime OVA was directed by Osamu Dezaki under the alias Makura Saki. It was released on December 2nd, 1988. The OVA was released by Viz Media on a subtitled VHS in 1995, but yet this anime OVA One Pound Gospel has never gotten a DVD release as it needs to be. But this anime OVA One Pound Gospel looks like something Discotheque Media might get a hold for this, so if they want to release this on DVD as well, because it's only presented in Japanese with English subtitles, because what you see on every certain anime on VHS as well. Unlike the manga, Angela is a 2 year older than Osaku and has a red scouter. Shanian Garrity, writing for Anime News Network, stated that despite the unlikely combination of boxing and Catholicism in a situational comedy, Rumiko Takahashi makes it work. She also called the action series realistic with proper boxing terminology. Garrity suspected the author was paying a tribute to Mitsuru Adachi with a sports comedy and believes that One Pound Gospel appeals to the fans of Rumiko Takahashi's older slapstick works, as opposed to her new dramatic works. Most authors and writers have dreamed of what they were doing if they would have created work that'll stand the test of time. If they would have, because every certain of her works have done it 3 times, 2 or less than particularly any manga writer and illustrator, manga artist's satisfactory results as well. Despite that, One Pound Gospel was only released on VHS by Viz Media back in 1995, which is during the 90s. It never got a DVD release, particularly because it was only subtitled in English, but there's no English dub, but it's only dubbed in Japanese with English subtitles for this anime OVA like One Pound Gospel, because it looks like something that Discotheque Media should get a license for One Pound Gospel to be released on Blu-ray and DVD as well, because it's only presented in just Japanese and English subtitles, because there's no English dub, because it looks like Discotheque Media would have released One Pound Gospel on Blu-ray as well. Despite that, I have been looking back on my previous anime review on Mermaid Forest, Maison Ikoku, Inuyasha the Final Act, including all 4 Inuyasha movies, Ranma half series, as well as the Urusei Yatsura series as well, including all 5 of the Urusei Yatsura movies, because this is a particular Rumiko Takahashi anime that I have wanted to review before. I mean, if you haven't seen One Pound Gospel, I highly recommend you to check it out, because even though I have watched the anime and I've read the original manga as well. So that's going to be it for my anime review on One Pound Gospel for today's anime review. Thank you for watching, but before we go, here's my thoughts on this. When I first watched One Pound Gospel, I really knew that it was only released on VHS by Viz Media back in the 90s, which is 1995, but it never gotten a DVD release. But it looks like something I'm pretty sure Discotheque Media could get a license for One Pound Gospel to have a Blu-ray release in a HD quality remaster with English subtitles and its original Japanese as well. Hope to subscribe for content. My anime plan link in the description down below. You can share this video on your Twitter, Facebook, if you have Twitter, Facebook account, and all social media. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up by clicking on the like button in this video. Feel free to leave in the comments in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, RonnieK95. Feel free to join my channel, especially my channel. Hit the notifications bell and keep it otaku for this anime review. I got another anime review coming up next here. Stay tuned for my next anime review. I got a new anime series for tomorrow, starting with my anime review on Ai Tenshi Muyo. Stay tuned for my next anime review on Ai Tenshi Muyo, because you won't want to miss another anime review.